Hi everybody, and welcome back to video number 2 in the syllabus. When we left off, we had finished the required information for the Admissions and Records Office, and I think the ethical responsibility section speaks for itself. Regular and extra credit points. This is an important section. So regular points, we're going to have 4 exams worth 100 points each. Homework done in McGraw-Hill's Connect for 272 points. A group project, which I think you'll enjoy, for 50 points. So I call them unannounced quizzes, but I think I'm going to make sure that you know when these quizzes occur. And there's 4 of them at 10 points each, and they're designed for you to get 100% on those quizzes. I'm hoping you'll do just that, and that will give you an indication that you're on top of your game for the upcoming exam. There's some reflections, which also I think you'll find interesting, particularly the last one on Enron, and those are the regular points. Extra credit points, there's a really good opportunity here for extra credit using the SmartBook assignments. There's 5 points per chapter and there's 13 chapters, so that's a total of 65 extra credit points. Now, I will point out that Canvas thinks these are regular points, so don't get confused on your percentages. The percentages shown in Canvas will probably be a little understated. So your percentages will be based on both your regular points plus any extra credit points that you use divided by the total regular points. Okay, I also throw in an extra 3 points on the first exam. But other than that, and the optional tutoring, of course, worth up to 20 extra credit points, there probably will not be any additional opportunities for extra credit. So you can see here percentages are based on 822 points, which are the total regular points. Without tutoring, I think we have like 890 possible points. So that's some good extra credit and makes a difference sometimes in a grade. Okay, so here you'll find on the last page of the syllabus the course assignment by due date for the summer, and it's on page 15, which we'll get to in a second. But there's going to be assignment changes may happen, but it's pretty unlikely that they will. You should, as a general rule of thumb, though, the course does take some time. So you should plan on spending 2 hours of studying and preparing for homework for every hour you spend viewing my chapter lecture videos, which I'll show you when we get to the modules. Okay, so here's some summary of what we do in the chapters. I'll let you read those on your own. And then all this is set up so you can work a little bit ahead, which is a good idea in case you have something unexpected happen. So doing work on time is important. Now, I know sometimes there are some serious issues that come up. Give me a call in advance if that's the case, and we'll work something out. But generally speaking, we want everybody to submit things on the due date. Okay, so homework. On the homework, the exercises and problems in Connect, the exercises are worth 2 points each, and the problems are worth 5 points each. And I give you 3 attempts on specific exercises and problems done before, of course, the due date. Before that is considered your final attempt. It'll take your best attempt, not an average of all 3 attempts if you use all 3 attempts. It'll take you the best when you do. There is an advantage to using the check your work feature without any point penalties. But if you leave fields blank, the check my work will not mark them incorrect. So you got to kind of have to pay attention to that. If there's any questions on that, we'll try to solve those during our tutoring sessions. But I suspect you'll have that pretty much figured out as you go through. It's very intuitive. It's essential that you save your homework as you go. Again, do not hit the submit button before you're ready for that to count. In theory, when you reach the due date, it'll automatically take whatever you've done and roll that into Canvas. But I think it's generally a good idea to hit the submit button when you're done, and away you go. Okay. It's a good idea too to maybe print out your homework from the Connect website, although I will provide Excel solutions after the due date for all the exercises and problems. So you can either make copies from my Excel spreadsheets, or you can do it from Connect, or none of the above. All right, exams and quizzes. Exams, we're going to take those all online, and they're generally going to be multiple choice questions, true, false, solving short problems, preparing financial statements, etc. And those exams will cover the material and work that we cover in class. And so I think as you go through what's important and what isn't, those accounting and business related problems related to business are the ones I'm going to select for you to demonstrate your proficiency. Okay, to prevent identity fraud, there on rare occasion I may ask you to present a photo identification. And that's a requirement that I can't get around. In any event, no makeup exam is going to be accepted unless I've been notified in advance. And for the final exam, there's no opportunity to do that in advance. Okay, so the exams are worth 100 points each, and the 4 quizzes are worth 10 points each. The group project is a fun opportunity at the end of the course to kind of take what you've learned and apply it to a real world company. And there'll be much more on that as we go. You can read a little bit about this. But essentially, each team will select a company, a publicly traded US-based company, and tell us a little bit about the history, background, products and services, accounting practices used, and then apply some of the knowledge you've learned to analyze the company. And finally, make a stock recommendation, purchase recommendation. Okay, but the teams will submit only one paper done in Microsoft Word and one presentation done in Microsoft PowerPoint. No other software packages, please. Okay. Normally, if this was a face-to-face meeting, we would have presentations in class, but that's not practical as an online. So all that will be required of you is to publish those, post those papers and PowerPoint presentations. Okay. They are due by Sunday, August 4th. Again, I'll let you read about that on your own. We also have some reflections. I think that they're kind of discussion questions. You want to try to think of working a little bit ahead so that you can respond to other classmates before the due date. Study groups is a nice idea. I don't require it, but I think those that do it are happy they did. Special needs, statement of diversity, and other. If you have any kind of a disability, please contact the DSPS office, Disabled Student Programs and Services, and get an accommodation plan if that applies to you. Okay. my supplemental files and other items in this course are my personal property. And so, and also my videos are as well. So that's not for you to use without my permission. Of course, I provide it for you to use in this course. I provide some important dates here for your information. And then just to go through the recap, those hyperlinks are in the table of contents as I showed you. But the one thing I do want to stress here is that I do reserve the right to increase a student's final grade if I think those points are not representative of the total learning that the student has achieved. And that happens sometimes. But that's only to increase a student's final grades. All right. And if there are any changes that we need to make, I will publish them in the Canvas announcements, which you should get in the habit of reading regularly. Okay, probably the most important page in this is when the assignments are all due. I keep a copy of this. Here it is, for example, for this class. And I keep a copy of that. And you can plan your work this way much more efficiently because you know what's coming. So time management is really important in this course because there's a lot of work, as I said. So here's when everything is due. As at the bottom of the page here, it shows you they're due before midnight, basically, on the date assigned or otherwise indicated. So in the case of exercises, here are the exact exercises and problems from the book. Now you don't need to know that because they're going to be available in the module. So but if you did want to see them in the book, this is where you'd find them. And then here's the quiz that's due, or reflections that's due. Here's the first exam and when it's due. And away we go. Sound good? Well, that looks like a good place to stop this video. And when we return, I'm going to take you on a tour of the course, which I think you'll find interesting. I hope you do. Until that time, bye for now.